Page 20, Chim-Chim Cher-ee. This is a song from a musical, Mary Poppins. 3/4 time, no sharps or flats in the key signature. We're using the white keys, but we got sharps written in the music. We got to deal with those. That's fine. I'm going to take this one hand at a time because both hands are doing different things. Starting with the right hand at the beginning, you're going to rest on beat 1, and then your third finger's here. That puts the hand in this position. Not going to stay there, but that's where you're starting. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So much for that. Let's go to the second line. Remember the little numbers above the staff in boxes? Those are measure numbers. So the first measure is second line on page 20 is measure 5. It's got a 5 there. We'll go to the last measure. That would be measure 8. You're here 1 and 2 and 3 and. The left hand plays the and part of it. And on page 21, start at measure 14. You're here. You're going to cross over second finger here and stay there. And then the left hand plays. We just changed hand positions. This is the one of the ways we do it. You're just crossing over. Don't twist around and do any fancy stuff. Just relax. And your hand will move enough to do that. That's fine. Then in the last line, measure 17. See, in measure 16, you don't play anything in the right hand. They put that prepare RH there. That's not part of the music. I would rather see a rest there, but they didn't do it. Anyway, you have a 3-beat rest for measure 17. You just come back up to here. We started here, and then you're here, and now we're coming up to here. We got a lot of heres going on here, but you want 5th finger on the A. 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, and then a thumb here. We got 2. One of the things we do in piano is move our hands around. And there are different techniques for doing this. And one of the techniques most common we use is if it's repeated notes, we'll change hand positions on the repeated notes. That is, we'll use different fingers for the repeated notes so we can get in position for what's coming. It's important to keep that in mind. So in measure 18, you're here, then thumb. This way you're in position for what's coming in the next measure. And the G sharp there. Since the third finger's on G, I'm going to use third finger on the G sharp. It also says to use third finger. I'm just trying to get you to understand the fingering you're using, because you won't always have those finger numbers available, and you'll think, okay, which finger do I use? Well, normally you use the same finger you use for the white key, you just use it for the black key. That doesn't always work. You can't always do that, but that's your first choice. Left hand. You're starting second finger here. That puts you here. And you're 1, 2, 3. And since the third finger's on G, I'll use that on the G sharp. And then I'm going to bring the thumb under for the G natural. We just changed hand positions. And this is common also. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Third finger again. 2. And then an F natural for measure 5. You don't need the natural sign, it's a natural anyway, because the F sharp in the previous measure is only good for that measure. And once you cross the bar line, it's no good anymore. However, it helps to be really, really clear. So there's no harm in having that natural sign there, it's just clear. 2, 3, 2, 3, and then and then the last note on page 20 is that B, 8th note. So it's and, because you got on top page 21, you got that immediately. So it's measure 8 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. There. And then we do that some more because it was so much fun the first time, you know it was. And then measure 15 is 1. And again, we're going to use the same fingers on the black keys as the white keys. So it's here, here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1. Measure 18. Just bring the thumb up. Don't move the hand. Just bring the thumb up. Here. For the AC, just put your hand in that position that you need it, and you lower the whole hand. Don't don't try and hold the hand still and lower the fingers. Ugh, doesn't work. And then the last two measures, again, it's here and then here. Connect that. So I want to do this. I'm just adding the C to it. I'm transferring weight from the middle finger to the other fingers. I'm just kind of rolling the hand a little bit, transferring weight. It takes a little practice, but it's an important skill that you need in piano playing, so try and do that if you can. Don't raise up and do that. Connect them if you can. I know there's no slur there or anything, which means you can do what you want pretty much, but I'm encouraging you to connect these. Connect this left hand all the way through as best you can. Put the hands together. What could possibly go wrong with this? We're here and we're here. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. And when you first put the hands together, you're going to hesitate. You're going to think, oh, what's going on? That's okay. Don't worry about it. We just want the hands. You can see in the music how they line up. Just make sure that that's happening. So at the beginning, again, you this, and hold it down as you do that. And the knees come together. Hold the left hand down, and then thumb under here. These together, and then these together. You got a black key and a white key, and then go on. And you just go through the whole thing and work it out where your hands are working together. You can do that. Once you have that, then you go back through and try and get it so it is a steady, you go slow, but it has to be a steady beat. No hesitations allowed eventually. They're only allowed when you're first putting the hands together. Then you got to go back and get rid of them. So you work on those spots, so there's no hesitations. Once you have that, we'll add in the slurring things, and there isn't really much of any slurring going on. You have phrases. I'm going to say connect all the notes on a phrase in this piece. So it's here, connect this note and that. You can tell where the melody notes are because there's words there. So it's here, connect that. You kind of have to because you're holding it down. Then to lift up. You can see the end of a sentence in the words. It's like taking a breath, just lift up here. Now, measure 8, it's the last measure in 20, it's here. Connect all that together. Connect the B, the last note, with the next note on 21. That slur line really should have gone all the way across. Connect all that together. The reason is because it leads into it, and generally whenever something leads into it, you connect it to it. It's a ba-da-da-da. You wouldn't go like that. It breaks it, and so lead into it. Lift up. And at that measure 16 here, lift up. Because there's a little side, it's a new phrase. And that is a staccato there on measure 17, short. And then that fermata on measure 18, just hold that out a little longer, at whatever feels right, it's close enough. And then lift both hands together. And the last fermata, again, you hold it out for whatever feels right, and then you let up. When I play with a metronome, I just double the value of the note. So on measure 18, I'll hold that quarter note 2 counts instead of 1. And at the end, I'll hold all of that 6 counts instead of 3. I just double the value. You don't have to go that fast. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the phrases, because a phrase is easier to hear if you can speed it up a little bit. And you can hear the sentence. Now, right there. You can hear the phrases. Once you can get going at a speed, you can tell what they are. Then we go back and we add the dynamics, the louds and softs. They don't give you a lot here. You're starting out MP, which is mezzo piano, which is moderately soft. Medium soft, sort of soft. It's not soft, it's just sort of soft. You'll have to decide what that is. It depends on your situation and where you are in the room and the piano and all that. It depends. Just to you, what is sort of soft? And that's the melody. That note is melody at the beginning, and then this takes over. And then if you can, you play everything else softer than that. Can you play one hand louder than the other? That's hard to do, but I'm asking you to try it out. So this is melody, and then this is soft. So the first one's a little louder, and then soft, because the melody went to the right hand. And this is melody. It needs to be the same as, all that needs to sound like one hand played it all. And then you can go ahead and on these eighth notes at the end of the page 20, you can go ahead and leave those the same. Just go ahead and that's fine. And you're staying more or less in that area. Now once you get to know it and you start feeling the music, you can get a little louder and softer as you feel the music, but just stay in the moderately soft area for the melody, and everything else is soft until you get to measure 17. Now you're going to end it loud. Whatever you think loud is. It's not really loud, just loud. And this is soft. The left hand is soft. So I want to hear that. So this has to stay soft. That takes time to get that kind of control, but as I said, you got to start sometime. So once you have the notes under your fingers, the keys, you know what you're doing, and the rhythm and all that, try this out. See if you can do that. One hand louder than the other. As far as the speed goes, this is a happy piece. It's a waltz. It's a rather fast waltz. I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check all the notes and the rhythms and things. I'm not going to do any dynamics. We're just going to play the notes. I'm going to play both hands about the same so you can hear them. So I'll give us 3 counts, and let's just go over it very slowly together. 1, ready, go. 1 and. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3. Off. There's a duet part for this at the bottom of these pages. I like to play that, and you play what you're playing. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I may not take it full speed, but I'll take it a little faster. And keep in mind, the duet part's all different than yours. So you have to focus on what you're doing, but you got to listen to me to stay with me, because I can't stay with you. I can't hear you. Now again, I need you to go up an octave on the piano. So you simply pretend middle C is up here. And instead of here, you're here. So come up here. At whatever speed we're going to go, but come up here. And we'll play it together. Now, one more thing just to make it more interesting. There is a 4-measure introduction to this that you don't have. So you come in. You have to wait for 4 measures. You got to count 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and then you start. To help, I'll go ahead when it's time for you to start. I'll go ahead and play your that first measure or so with you, so you know for sure when to come in. But it's up to you to count out those first 4 measures and come in when you're supposed to. So go ahead and put your hands up here. So we're ready to go, but wait 4 measures before you come in.